Hello, ladies, and welcome to the bonus day of the Perfect 10, our free fitness, nutrition, and mindset challenge. Please let me know if you have made it through this week, these last now going on 4 days of P10. Whether you are a Perfect 10 virgin, whether you have tried Perfect 10 before and completed it successfully, or maybe not successfully, let me know that you're here, because the great thing is we all get fresh starts. So happy Friday, everyone. As you are jumping on and joining me, could you just please give me a shout out to say that you're there and give me a yes. Let's get some yeses going. Whenever we say yes, it's like we smile, we change that physiology, we feel more uplifted. And today I'm feeling very excited and blissful that it's Friday and it's a bonus day. I really enjoy this day because what it shows to me is that you were in it to win it. Whether you're catching on the replay or you are a person that finishes what she starts. And guess what? You could be that person now. I tell my son all the time, like, just because you didn't finish what you started last time doesn't mean you can't do it this time, right? We want to start to create a success snowball. And depending on where you're tuning in from, I hate to hear this, but we're supposed to get a lot of snow. And I want to deflect that. My husband reminded me we did not sign up for that. Now that we moved from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania to Lake Norman, North Carolina, even though I don't mind cold weather or the snow, what I do mind is when everything just shuts down. They don't got the right equipment down here. Okay, so for those of you who are just jumping on, we have Leah, we have Lanita, we have some other people that I cannot read. We got Renee.
Lisa Newman-Hafford.
Lisa. Awesome. Thank you guys for jumping on. I know we have more people. Dan's going to be rattling them off. But for those of you who are just tuning in, maybe for the bonus day, or you are new here, my name is Aubrey Warwick. I am a transformation coach, TV fitness expert, bikini pro, founder of Fitness Envy. I do all these fitnessy things, all these nutrition related things. But at the end of the day, I'm just like you, a busy lady trying to be a perfect 10 in all different aspects of her life. And I don't think that I don't want you to ever feel like you have to be perfect and perfect 10, because the irony of the human being is that we are supposed to be like this. And that's the perfect part, where we say that we are perfectly imperfect, right? We have this lightness and this positivity to us, and there's always a shadow to it. So typically what happens at this stage of the game with P10, we are going to lean in to the things that are uncomfortable. We're going to go over some Q&A. I wrote some things down that I saw in the feed yesterday, and I want to help you through this weekend, because as we have built momentum together for this week, which is awesome, now we have to lean in to strengthening the AMC, that anterior mid-cingulate cortex, the discipline muscle essentially, or really the part in our brain that just needs to get bigger so that we can succeed. And I love this little exercise because it's called the subtle art of just saying, no, thank you. So this weekend, perhaps if you have some special events, or you know that it's pizza weekend, or things that maybe aren't on the P10 menu, which we'll talk about that, some things that are just, they're not there right now. They can be there after the program if you want, but for right now, we have to say, no, thank you, and then change the subject, because we have all these other foods that we can incorporate. All right, so let's drop in the comments anything that you're concerned about this weekend that we want to be held accountable for. So a big part of my Envision Transformation program, why I'm doing these P10s, is I am casting the net looking for women who are looking for me. And you might just be looking for me for P10, and I'm looking for you for P10. But if you are wanting to take it a step or two further because you need more than 10 days, that's the next step, essentially. And accountability is a big thing, right? I told you guys the story of my first earth angel, Dave Wingenroth, yesterday. He was the first person that really believed in me. He saw something in me that I didn't see myself. And he was in my life for a very long time, helping me achieve some goals that were just dreams. And that's when coaches come in to coach you, right? Michael Jordan was the greatest basketball player of all time. I guess, is LeBron better? I don't know. But the reason why he was is because he had a good coach. He had natural talent, maybe not the discipline, but he had people that would take him to that next level, but it all happened in his mind, right? It all happened in his mind. He was already physically there. So a lot of times, and we will be posting Kelly Curtis's testimony. Is it a testimony or testimonial? It's a testimonial. It's not a testimony. No one committed a crime. All right. Unless you're getting that moldy coffee at Starbucks. That's a crime. Okay. Or Dunkin' Donuts. All right. But point is that Kelly is a great example. We're going to post her story of someone who, she's like a Michael Jordan. It's like, but she wants to go that next level. Who's going to get her there? Okay, I don't want to digress. Let's first go into some Q&A. So Lilium had a great question. She said, I am not a black coffee drinker. I'll go organic for you, for herself. She probably was already doing that, but she wants her cream in her coffee. Okay, and I said, hey, did you try this? I used to be a person that I did like the flavored creamers. And then when I looked at the ingredients, I'm like, oh, Warwick, why are you having astronaut food every day? You're not on the moon. It's just the ingredients were poor. And so I was like, oh, there's got to be a better way, right? So I started to incorporate raw honey, a spoonful of that, or real maple syrup. And even though I was like that coffee cream person, I then discovered something new and exciting. So the point is, when we talk about what got you here isn't going to get you there, that's just one teeny tiny example. Maybe you're like, you know what? I'm going to try it, by golly. And then there's the other side of it. How uncomfortable do you want to be? Maybe you're incorporating a lot of changes at once. And that's why one-on-one coaching is really helpful. Because when I first start somebody out of the gates, we don't do all the things at once. One, because we want to keep our heads attached onto our body and not allow them to explode with too much change, because too much change is just not how we're designed. It's not the best plan of attack. So Lilium, when I was like, hey, make the adjustment, doing your best. If it's too much change right now, keep the creamer in, right? I'm not going to come over there and knock it out of your hand unless you pay me to. Just kidding.
But what's the reason for eliminating the creamer?
Oh my gosh, thank you, Dan. So what's the reason from eliminating the creamer before noon? All right, because she was concerned. She's like, well, it's not going to spike my insulin levels or my blood sugar levels. Well, the protocol that was based on cleansing is so that we are avoiding anything with fat or protein in the morning before noon, because we're working on a cleansing effect. All right, that's why we have the lemon water, we have the organic fruits, and that liver rescue smoothie. So again, you got to pick and choose here. So that was a good question. It wasn't from a blood sugar level standpoint. It was more from a cleanse to heal standpoint per that Anthony William protocol. All right, we had some other questions come up like, oh man, I'm kind of sick and tired of eating the same vegetable every day. You can incorporate different vegetables. You can steam them, you can roast them. It made suggestions just based on that format. You don't have to eat the same thing every day. You can plug and play. Sometimes eating the same thing every day can give you insight. So we just have to flip the script in our mind. If currently we're eating the same thing every day and we're like, holy cow, broccoli is bloating me, perhaps cruciferous vegetables are feeding a virus in your gut that you didn't even know was there. You might have a broccoli virus in your gut. You might have a cucumber virus in your gut. Yes, those are things, I did not make them up. And what happens is healthy foods can make us feel not good. Now, we can get those viruses out with different techniques that I work with my one-on-one clients on to say, wait, what are those troublemaker foods right now? It doesn't mean you can never eat broccoli again, just like it doesn't mean you can't ever eat pizza again. But if you notice certain vegetables are bloating you, it could be the way that you're cooking them, could also be that vegetable in general is just too much and we have to remove it from the diet, okay? My head's going to explode. What should I do? Take a breath. Do your tapping. And when in doubt, you can just shout and drop an F-bomb. I'm not going to judge you for that either. Okay, because even perfect people say the F word when no one's looking. Okay, the other question was, I wanted to clarify your shift. Acacia, you put in that, your question, you're like, did I answer that question right? So the shift is, yesterday we talked about a cost shift, and I am going to blow your mind for a second. So according to perfectbrew.org, and this does make sense, women in general, a year, you want to know how much we spend on coffee a year if you go out on the reg? So it was $44 a week. You know how much that costs a year? $2,300, which for a 6-month program with me, that's what you would spend. Okay. So I'll tell you what, and you're like, Aubrey, but I love going to coffee every day. You don't have to take it out completely, right? Because the money that you spend, you can always make more money, right? And everything's a seesaw in life, weight loss, weight gain, it can also be temporary. To keep your results with Perfect 10, you want to at least adopt one of these good habits after Perfect 10, right? We can't go back to do the same old things that we did before. Now you are forever changed, because what you know, now you cannot unknow. All right, I'm just going to be speaking in riddles like I'm in Alice in Wonderland today. Okay, but does that make sense? Drop me a yes in the comments if that makes sense, right? So a lot of times people, just like anything, they're like, yeah, but that means I have to do it for the rest of my life. Kind of, sort of. But I'm going to tell you what, I myself work with people all the time where it's like, we're going to get you uncomfortable for a little bit, and then it gets comfortable. And then you're like, wow, I can maintain this. We're going to get you uncomfortable for a little bit, and then it gets comfortable. Because anything that's new, just like me moving to a new area, is going to be uncomfortable until it's not anymore, until it's your new normal. All right. Let's see. We had some other questions on there. So, the point being, Acacia, the shift was, what are you going to cost shift in order to make your healthy lifestyle a habit? All right. Are you needing a coach? All right. Then you have to have a cost shift. Not everybody does. You might already have the income to do that. And I would suggest booking a discovery call to see if that fits. Now, my prices are going up come Monday night. And the reason why I tell you guys this and I hold these challenges is because you get the one-on-one coaching, you get to work with me, and it's like we're dating for 6 months. And I think I'm a good person to date, right? I don't know if I'm a good person to be married to, but dating and being married are totally different, right, Dan? All right, so we have Debbie Lang. Without further ado, she wants to join for this awesome interview. So gals, it's going to work this time. What happened with Kelly's interview is that she couldn't join from a desktop, and I never knew that. So she didn't have the Facebook app. We didn't realize that was operator error. So we'll post her little testimonial later. So, but without further ado, you're going to hear from someone who has completed the Perfect 10. And it was kind of like the gateway drug for her and I to meet, where she was like, okay, she got to know me on a different level. And she was like, all right, I'm ready already, but I want you to hear it firsthand from someone who's currently in my Envision program. She's completed Perfect 10, what that is all about. But before we bring on the wonderful, the beautiful, the light-spirited, super positive Debbie Lang, I want to make sure that we address any other questions or concerns with people going into this weekend.
No more questions. Kelly also commented she's missing her cream or two and the nut butters.
Yeah. Oh, yes, I know. Yeah, and when you integrate these things back in, gang, choose good quality ingredients. Your body might be a little sensitive afterwards. You might be like, oh my gosh, I taste every sugar in that creamer. Or when you look at your nut butters, make sure there's one ingredient and it's just nuts. Don't get the stuff with the palm oil, freaking organic products. They even fool you. Look on the back. What are the ingredients? That will set you free. So as you integrate these things back in your diet, you're like, okay, you're more aware. And Perfect 10 is all about awareness. That's why we start with gratitude. We think about breathing so that we don't resort to suddenly going off on a bender, binging like we haven't had a meal in, 90 days or whatever. Okay. All right. So keep those questions coming, but we are going to get Miss Debbie on here because I did see that she requested to join. Debbie, hang on, Debbie. And give me a second. All right. Don't go anywhere. It's about to get real. There we go. Okay, Miss Debbie, I am approving you. They can't join your broadcast this time. Maybe she went away. I hope we don't have the same issue last time. Debbie, if you're out there, please request to join. I'm trying to approve you. Send request. It says you can't join my broadcast at this time. Well, I might lose my ish. Okay. I think I might even X out of this and try to join again. What do you think? No? Send her a little link here. Let me see if I can send her a link.
I don't know about that.
Tap the show button, feature link. Okay. I'm usually good at filler, but multitasking is very hard as we're trying to bring this person on. Facebook is going to make a fool out of me, guys. All right. We're going to try this one more time. Deb, shoot me a text or anything. Let me know you're there.
Just texted, hold on.
Oh, she said, hold on.
She's working on it.
She's working on it. All right. She's working on it. The suspense.
Yeah,
all right,
here,
guys.
hold on.
Okay, she's here. She said, hold on, work. Okay. Let's see. Anything else? Oh, I did think that was pretty interesting with the coffee spending. And there's no shame to that. I mean, if it brings you joy, come on now. All right, here we go. Approve. Come on, Facebook. Okay. Gonna work. I see it's happening. Boop, 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 boop.
She had to get on Wi-Fi.
Oh, she had to get on Wi-Fi. There we go. She's figuring it out. It says she is joining. Okay. Yay! Hey, you're in a lot of sunshine there.
Yeah, I'm sitting in the gas station parking lot. I have to take my dog to the groomer.
Oh, what's your dog's name?
To the back.
Well, thank you for making the time for us today, Debbie. And you look super fabulous. So I know that inquiring minds want to know, first and foremost, what was your experience completing Perfect 10?
It was an eye opener. It really showed me where I was going wrong. I'm a personal trainer. I've been working out for over a decade. I thought I knew what I was doing. I think I know what I'm doing in the gym, but when it comes to, going home and the nutrition aspect of things, I thought I knew it, but I didn't. So I've learned a ton.
What was your number one thing that was like an eye opener? Do you remember when you went through Perfect 10, what was that one aha moment that you were like, oh my gosh?
I think eating because my stomach told me you need to eat instead of listening to more, what fuel I truly need. I was just eating to what I felt like eating.
Yeah.
And it's scary. You're so comfortable eating that way, but it's not right and it's not getting you results. So something has to change.
Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't getting you those results. Yeah. So you and I knew each other for a little while, just as acquaintances through the gym, right?
Yeah.
And you're a very outgoing person, a very warm person, and that sort of thing. And definitely, your way around the gym, very passionate with your workouts. Unmistakably so. Everyone would say, oh yeah, Debbie, she's crushing it in the gym. And we know that there's that other piece, right, to fuel yourself. Now, what was your biggest challenge completing Perfect 10, would you say?
Um, quieting the food noise, saying, okay, Debbie, you're okay. You're going to be okay. You don't need this. Um, you don't need the ice cream at night or, the pizza every day. Not that I had a pizza every day, but
Yeah, yeah.
but I did have ice cream just about every day, and I was always afraid of letting that go.
Mhm.
And now I don't miss it. It's not that I'm not allowed.
Mhm.
Maybe I am kind of right now for what I'm training for, but in the future, it'll be there, and I'll be okay eating it. But it's not an every night thing. So I
Yeah.
like that control that I have now.
Mm.
It's it's something I even just realized just last night. I went out for a company work event, and I
Yeah.
had a nice dinner, no dessert. And I come home and I thought, well, maybe just a little bite of something since it's my cheat night or something like that. And no, I don't feel like it. And I was so proud of myself. I
Wow.
was so excited that I don't need that and I'm satisfied. And
Wow.
yeah, it's
That's a
really
big
it's
win.
changed. Yeah, it was a big
Yeah.
win.
Well,
Um,
I'm snapping and clapping for you. That is a big win because, I know that was a big concern when we had our discovery call. I do remember vividly when you were like, Aubrey, I don't there you we were calling it, we've been calling it like the Jekyll Hyde scenario where you're like, I want this goal, but I really don't. Like if I'm scared to give this up because I like ice cream, I like pizza, and we all do. We all do. I mean, that's what it's designed to do. It's a fun
yeah,
experience to consume it. But I think that you have been repeatedly proving to yourself that you can flip that script in your mind very rapidly, and you also just authentically were like, "Is this what my body needs right now?" And it's not really what it needs because we ask ourselves, how am I going to feel after eating that? Am I going to feel guilty, shameful, or
yes.
is that what I need to feel satisfied? So you've been doing a great job asking those right questions. I wanted to segue into now we've been working together just for what a couple months with Envision, and you have a big, hairy, scary goal coming up in April, and I know have no doubt that you're going to be ready for it. But could you maybe talk to folks a little bit differently? I mean, from the standpoint of like, what got you to sign up for Envision, and how is your experience thus far?
Well, there's my son.
We're almost done. I know. I was like, hang in there, buddy.
Sorry. So I signed up with Perfect 10 shortly after I learned I had kidney disease, and I'm 46, almost 47. I'm like, what? What's going on? And I'm like, I need to do something about that. So I had been secretly mulling in my brain that the desire to do a bodybuilding show, which I'd always been super, super afraid of. Very not confident in myself, and not just standing on the stage, but in um, changing my diet in and out, completely for a time being. It is scary, but something had to change for me to have a healthy, long life. I've got 2 kids, um, so I forget what the question was. But
Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
so I decided to sign up with Aubrey. As I said, she said, I've known her in the gym. I've seen her in the gym. She is what she practices what she preaches. She doesn't just tell you one thing and do another thing. And I was listening to the call before I hopped on video, and some of the things I remember her saying those things, and I'm like, yeah, right. I don't know about that, but it's so true. She tells it how it is. She's straight with you, and it works. And I'm proof of it. I'm proof of it working. I'm down 20 plus pounds since the P10 that I did in October. Yeah, yeah.
Imagine holding two 10-pound dumbbells and then just walk around all day, or put that on your book in a book bag. Wow.
So, Albert, you've just been, a source of encouragement, a source of education, Um, you know, I can ask the why, like, why do you want me to do this? And she
Yeah.
could tell you. It's not just, you know, picking something out of the air and say, oh, well, let's try this and see if it works. No, you've been in the industry long enough to know it works, and I have complete faith and trust in you, even though sometimes I want to make excuses. Like,
Yeah.
mm,
Yeah.
do that, and I'm so glad that I'm going past the excuses and
Yeah.
pushing forward. So,
You're so impressive to me these days, Debbie, and I'm just so grateful to be a part of your journey. And I think, what you guys can see right now is the client coach relationship. What Debbie and I have done and what you're very emotionally equipped to handle is to say, okay, I want to acknowledge when she wants to be like, I don't want to do that. It's almost just like this voice inside of her. It's not even like the real Debbie. It's like we've been possessed. No, but it's just like, hey, that's okay. I get it. There's plenty of things that I don't want to do. However, we're going to lean through that emotion, let it move through you. Like we
yes,
had a discussion where it was like, Debbie, it's okay. Let it move through you. It's not you, it's not me. And the next day she's like, all right, I'm back in it to win it.
yep,
So I think it's a matter also to have that emotional IQ with your coach to be like, all right, it's not you, it's not me, it's not the blame game. It's like we're on the same team.
yep,
And your goal is my goal, and I'm always here to make sure that we have that same goal in mind.
yep.
So, well, I thank you and your beautiful son in the background for taking time out of your busy day, Debbie. And for those of you who don't know Debbie, but if you live in the Irwin area, she's a wonderful person to get to know. You will see her by her long, beautiful hair. I call her Rapunzel. And she is going to do her first natural bodybuilding show in the category of women's physique coming in the spring. You could follow her journey, but she's choosing to use bodybuilding just as a vehicle to help her reach her goals. And I don't train, only people who want to do bodybuilding shows, as Debbie and I know that. But I know you're doing a great, great job, and I can't thank you enough for your time today, Deb.
No problem. We're
Okay.
happy to help anytime.
Well, you stay warm and cozy, and I
You too.
will, yeah, I will talk to you soon, Deb.
All right.
Okay,
Bye bye.
thanks. Bye. Okay, let's see. I think we are back in action. All right, guys. If that resonated with you, could you just give me a thumbs up? Give Debbie some love with a thumbs up because that was great. And I love doing these little interviews so that people can speak authentically just about their experience. And I want you to know no matter what type of experience that you're having, you know, look at Perfect 10 through a lens of like, I'm going to try something different because I want to be different in a good way. Never think that, or when you do think, you just got to bless and release that thought. Sometimes I used to think, well, I can't do this program, I'm a failure. Or I would label myself, well, I can't do that blank because, well, you know what? Again, it's just uncomfortable for a little while. So I want to give you all major kudos and some snaps and claps for making it thus far. I'm going to be touching base with you through the weekend. Feel free to use this group to lean on for accountability. Because if you are bound and determined, which I think that you are, to finish all 10 days of the program, I lovingly ask you to submit to me your results. I want to hear from you. I can't make this program better if you don't give me feedback, right? I was voice messaging my best friend today. She's going through Perfect 10. And I said, okay, I want your feedback. And she was talking about, what she was experiencing. And I was able, since her and I communicate on a regular basis, I was able to say, hey, why don't we make these little adjustments and tweaks? And that's what I do when I start to coach people. We do the weekly accountability, your kickoff call. We have FaceTimes like this, and we also have group Zoom meetings. So I want you to also think about a time shift. Sometimes when I talk about all the things you get, that's also like, well, I don't know if I have time for all of that, Aubrey. The great thing is we start to align what is most important, your health, with your schedule. right? So there's some things that probably, yeah, might have to shift a little bit, but it is just a temporary crunchiness. But I've worked with my motto is I work with busy, driven women, and we're all busy, especially in this day and age. But I promise you, there is opportunities, as we have discovered with stealth mode, to make that shift. So we talked about the cost shift, we talked about the time shift, we talked about your body shifting, your mind shifting this week. And I really hope that you have been inspired to continue this protocol and program because it makes freaking sense to you. That's the incentive. It makes sense. If it didn't make sense, if we were like, hey, I'm going to go on, remember like back in the day, the Twinkie diet, just because it's 1,300 calories. I love Twinkies so much. Now, does that really make sense? No, I don't need to go through that protocol for it to, to prove it right or wrong. You were looking at me, any other pop-ups or questions? Okay, feel free. Your homework, your you work over the weekend is to lean in to any of your kryptonites. Okay, meaning what's for me, I think I told you guys this, but in case I forgot, I love on Friday night to have like a good gin drink. I love a Negroni, and I would have like probably 2 drinks tonight. Tonight, I'm not going to do that. Boo-hoo, I can definitely survive. But there was a time in my life where Dan and I, we were just like, oh, we're foodies, and we would spend a lot of money going out to nice restaurants, getting cocktails and all that stuff. We still love that. I just don't need to do it all the time in excess. And we put our time in, right? We put our time in. So now it's just a little bit different. Now, you're not ever going to find me being like that person, what I call like straight edge, where I just omit everything. Like, I'm never going to drink again, right? Or I'm never going to not have pizza. That I don't like things when you say like never ever, unless like, you have a hardcore problem, like never ever do drugs. Okay. Like, don't do that. The DARE program worked for me. But there's, just realistically, as our natural lives have evolved, it's a matter of like, where are you? How do you want to close that gap? And if you're struggling right now, know that you don't have to be an expert at everything. Nobody is. That's my purpose right now in this lifetime, is to help you succeed at thriving in the body that you desire and you deserve. No goal to me is too big or hairy scary. No matter what your conditions are, your circumstances, batters up. I am totally up for that challenge, but we don't know if we're a good fit if you don't book a discovery call. I told you in the last call, I am not going to harass you if you don't want to sign up, right? I am looking for people who want to date me. I am not that girl who is the one-sided relationship, because ain't nobody got time for that. All right, guys, I don't want to ramble here, but again, your you work this weekend is to lean into your kryptonite. We're going to be posting how you're going to get through this weekend. For me, I might just make myself a fun little mocktail. There's some mocktails in your Perfect 10 recipe book. What else? What else? You can go out to eat, right? But you have to order appropriately. Be that girl that asks questions about the menu. Hey, you know what? Could you refrain from putting oil on this? Maybe just use real butter. Or no butter at all, right? If you can look at the menu and navigate it appropriately, get something different that you know is light and healthy and P10 approved, so that we're trying to avoid those things that it's hard work on the liver, right? Because we want to get those results. Because remember, on day 10, you're going to show up and you're going to be so freaking excited that you will be tap dancing on that scale. All right. Have a wonderful weekend. No matter where you are, stay safe, be blessed, and above all, I believe in you. I'm here to help you believe in yourself 1 ounce more. All right, gang. Hope to see you and book a call if that is your next step. Ciao for now. Okay.